How's it going? I'm Houston, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, I'm David and I'm an alcoholic and drug addict.
So I came through Evolutions 2 years ago, April 10th, 2019, and I kind of want to share with you guys how this program has impacted my life and changed it for the better. So I came to Evolutions with a drug problem and I needed a new way of life. Now, what Evolutions did for me is take away the drugs and introduce me to therapy. The counselors, as well as the staff, are like family. I mean, Leon, all the way up to the owner, LSA and Gedalia. They did more for me than I could ever imagine. This program is phenomenal. So after I completed treatment at Evolutions, they hired me on as staff. I worked in the verification department, and I was fortunate enough to get my brother, who also had a problem with substances, into Evolutions, and that's where he can kind of tell you where he's at.
So I'm David. Started using drugs when I was 15. I'm 34 now. My brother helped me come down here, not because of me, because I was terrorizing my mother so much. So fun backstory, the day he left to come to Florida, we got into a fight that was bad enough that he didn't talk to me for a year and was unwilling to help me, was willing to help my mother, thank God, got me into Evolutions. As he said, from the owners, the therapists, the alumni coordinators, the techs, the nurses, everyone that I came across at Evolutions was more than helpful to me in any way that I ever thought possible or needed. Literally went the extra mile any way that they could. My life today has grown in leaps and bounds. Evolutions introduced me to a few things. They introduced me to meetings that they brought in for us. They introduced me to people who had real clean time and no motivation except for to show me a different way of living. I'm fully convinced that I've never had a drug problem. Drugs and alcohol were my solution to my problems of thinking and not being able to deal with life on life's terms. I knew how to get clean. I didn't know how to stay clean for extended periods of time. They introduced me to people in the rooms who could show me a different way of life, show me how to live clean, and enjoy my sobriety. Because let's be honest, none of us get clean and sober to be miserable. And through this program, through these 12 steps, through my therapists, and through my experience at Evolutions and beyond, I've learned a different way of life that I can't imagine living any other way today. So I've been introduced to a way of living that I can't imagine being without now. My peace of mind, I've never had this in my life. I've also never had the closeness with my family that I've had in my life. My brother, who wouldn't talk to me before I came down here, I can actually sit next to and work next to today. And it's an enjoyable experience for both of us. I'm allowed to go to his home and stay the night. We do things outside of work. My other brothers that aren't in Florida and I all have close relationships. My mother trusts me to stay in her home when I'm back home in Arkansas. That it's completely unimaginable that these things are a reality in my life today, because how I was living compared to the life that I live now, I don't recognize it. I'm able to find joy in daily things. I'm able to go to sleep at night without racing thoughts and without complete anxiety regarding my future. I've become comfortable in my life. I've become comfortable knowing that whatever happens to me, I'm going to be okay. So I have some self-reassurance, and I also have a strong bond with the Evolution staff, with the men that I've met in the rooms, with my family, where I'm able to lean on them and get advice from them in situations that I don't know about. It's literally one of the most comforting things that I've ever felt in my life. And again, I wouldn't have been introduced to any of it without Evolutions doing so. It's helped both my brother and I in our lives to be able to apply this program, to live honestly, to be accountable, and to try to right our mistakes when we commit them. And so couldn't be more thrilled with the direction my life is going. so happy that I'm able to have the opportunity to give back and hopefully touch someone else who is experiencing any type of struggles or hardships, whatever they may be. Whether it be mental health or substance abuse, believe me, I've struggled through both. And it is something you can come out on the other end of. And I'm so grateful to my brother. I'm so grateful to the staff at Evolutions, to the men that I've met in these rooms for giving me the opportunity to do the work myself and better myself and find a different way of living where my solution doesn't involve harmful drugs and alcohol.
So if you or one of your family members are having trouble with addiction, please reach out, call Evolutions. This is the place they need to be. So after going through Evolution's program, I've been able to maintain sobriety for 2.5 years, and my life has become greater than I could ever imagine. I have an apartment, I have a relationship with not only my brother and my friends and my family, but a nice lady that I'm able to show compassion with and be loving of. The AA steps as well as the program of Evolutions taught me how to do those things, where now my life is more fulfilling than I could ever imagine. I'm fortunate enough to be able to travel and go see the world, which is a beautiful place through sober eyes. I was in New York a month ago. I get to go home and visit my family, and that's amazing in itself. Having built back those bonds that were once broken gives me a sense of reassurance. And I'd like to give a special thank you to Leon, who is the alumni director, David Miller, who impacted my life more than he could ever imagine. I know that every year, whenever I go pick up a medallion, I give him a call and personally thank him for his part in my path. And to the owners of Evolutions, I would have never gained this without you guys opening up a great facility.
Absolutely.
And having the opportunity of having a life. So thank you guys. I love you all.